I'm Mark Honeyman from Mark the Moment Weddings, and I have a proposal. What do you say we have a conversation with two people whose wedding I was fortunate enough to officiate? For all of you engaged couples out there trying to plan your weddings, too often you're forced to rely on website articles or some random AI checklist. Well, not today. Today, you get to hear directly from a couple who, just a short time ago, was exactly where you are at this moment. Today on I Have a Proposal, we're going to take a deep dive with the help of Jeremy and Gina into all the aspects of creating a wedding from the perspective of a couple fresh from the trenches. Jeremy and Gina, I loved every second of getting to know you, planning your wedding, and that first get to know you Zoom session all the way to the wedding on that unseasonably, scorchingly hot October day at the Big Red Barn or the Big Red Orchard in Washington, Michigan. I'm honored to have you join me and to have you share all of your collective wisdom with our audience. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
Thrilled to have you. So tell me a little bit about how married life is treating you. It's been what, October, about 4 months or so, 3-4 months. So how's everything going so far?
It's going well. We're finally settled into our home and not liking the winter too much, but enjoying married life.
Yep, learning
awesome.
more and more. Learning more and more about each other, even as much as we thought we knew about each other every day.
Yeah, boy, I hear that. I'm 34 and a half years in with my marriage, and every day is an adventure. It's some new discovery about a nuance of our relationship with each other. So I think that's beautiful. May you know just 50 or 60 years worth of getting to know each other on a deeper level every single day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, all right. So if you don't mind, I'm going to leap right into the questions. So when you think about like your wedding, your overall wedding planning, how far in advance did you start planning the wedding? And in hindsight, did you give yourselves enough time?
We definitely gave ourselves enough time because we planned before the engagement. So we had a lot of time to plan.
No, that's foresight. I love that.
We started a new trend, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So it was definitely probably different than the traditional planning. But we knew we wanted to get married, and the halls and locations that we really looked at and the one we really, really wanted, we said, this is it when we walked in, and we booked.
Wow. And how far in advance of the actual ceremony did you go to that venue and go, yep, Big Red Orchard is where we belong?
I think we went there in February or March.
Yeah.
And the ceremony was in October. So, yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So, all right. So that was kind of sounds like it was sort of the first major decision you made. What came after that? Like once you knew where you wanted to hold the ceremony and the reception, what was kind of the next big decision or the next big planning moment for you guys in terms of something you felt you need to figure out, right off the bat?
I believe it was the DJ and the pictures and then the food.
Well, yeah, and I was trying to figure out a perfect proposal. We had the hall, but I still haven't proposed yet. So, yeah, it was definitely it was
different, but I think it was fun. So it was unique, right? So.
Totally. I think that's hysterical that you've got all your vendors picked out and the proposal hasn't even happened yet. I think that's a riot. This is going to be a new paradigm for couples moving forward. I love you're going to start.
It was kind of smart, to be honest with you.
Well, I like structure, and it kind of helped with. Okay, well, we already booked the hall, so I have from February till say September to get that proposal done. Or because we already have the hall booked.
Right, right. Oh man, well that also tells you just how confident the two of you were in the solidity of your relationship, right? Because if you're putting money down on a venue, and I listen, my marriage happened in like 1991, so it's been a long time. But I'm assuming there's probably some like non-refundable deposit you have to put down, and if
Yes.
Yeah.
so I mean you were making some pretty significant commitments before you made the commitment, and even though, and
Yep.
obviously you had made the commitment, you just hadn't formalized it yet, right? So
Correct.
Right.
got it. That's too funny. So all right, so as you were making your way toward the actual wedding day, how did the two of you sort of divide responsibilities? Was there sort of like a clear, this is what I'll be doing and these are the things that I feel more comfortable with? How did that sort of division of labor work out?
Well, since Jeremy loves planning, he basically did a lot of the planning. I was in charge of the dress, but he even found the place for the dress. So, not a controlling way. He loves to plan, and I can get stressed, more easily. So it just fit.
Yeah.
So that's how it came about.
Yeah, I
I
love that. And go ahead,
definitely
Jeremy.
a planner. Obviously, she was a big part of the cake. And obviously the bridesmaids' dresses and getting them together and on board to get everything squared away. Yeah. But yeah, I do love the plan. Obviously I planned, but ran everything by her before we ever made any kind of, decision per se.
Sure. And that's funny because that's very similar to my wife's and my style, where I'm I love spreadsheets and due dates and calling people and thinking things through, and so she defers to that, not because she's not invested. We just recognize what each other's strengths are, and so yeah, I get it, and I think that's so smart. So all right, so now this. Was there a moment during your planning where the two of you had like a disagreement about some aspect of either the ceremony, the reception, whatever it might happen to have been, and if so, how did you kind of like work through that in a way that might help other couples who maybe are butting heads over something, or if you didn't run into that, what allowed you to have such sort of a seamless process where you didn't end up having a lot of scuffles?
No, actually, we had zero scuffles. I think it's just because we both have the same tastes and we both have the same values. So it just kind of fit. And we always worked really good as a team just to get in there and do what needs to be done. And no, I do not recall a single disagreement about anything.
Wow.
Well, okay. The toughest thing we had to decide that we didn't see eye to eye at one time was funny. I wanted mac and cheese. She wanted mac and cheese.
Yes.
The mac and cheese that we tasted wasn't the best.
Yes.
But we did come together because we both like cornbread, so we chose the cornbread instead of the mac and cheese.
Well, yeah. Yeah. The food thing, yeah.
But other than that, we had, same. We're always usually pretty much on the same page. We were on the same page for everything. The venue, the food, the
ceremony, yes.
The casual Western. That's us, right?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't think of the mac and cheese.
That's awesome.
It just popped in my head, but it was nothing major.
Right. I was going to say, if your biggest problem of the day is mac and cheese or
mac
cornbread,
and cheese,
you're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So, all right. So speaking of opinions, when you're planning a wedding, like everybody has an opinion, right? And so how did you sort of like juggle what the two of you wanted versus family and friends expectations, or little sort of asides of what they thought you ought to be doing? Was there any point where that got kind of interesting, where you had to make some concessions, or were you like, listen, this is our day, we're going to do it our way, and we love you, but come to our wedding? And so how did you handle that?
That's actually was one of the greatest things is we just shot for it and picked everything that we wanted because we knew it was our day. And we knew that friends and family were going to show up and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Now, we did involve, some of my family members at a time to help decorate with their taste on things because that's what they do. And other than that, they every step of that process too was, what do you think of this? Taking pictures and showing us stuff like that. But yeah, we pretty much decided on what we wanted, and then it was coming. Honestly, it was coming out of our pockets. So who has so it is what it is.
Right.
Unless you want to pay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's right.
Honestly,
you can pay to have
your
an
day.
opinion.
Yeah.
Right. It's your day. And,
right.
You want everything memorable. That's part of the memory, in my opinion, is the results of everything that you put your effort into. And my family, her family, everybody, they loved everything that it was about. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, if they can see that how joyful you are and how it matches the spirit of your relationship to each other, they're going to be there. They're going to celebrate with you. So yeah, I love that. So all right. So did you when you were trying to figure out, you mentioned you started picking like DJ and photographer and all that. Did you have a process for how you did that, like a list of questions, or did you look at 100 websites or reviews? Like what helped you to figure out which photographer, which DJ, etc. you wanted to pick?
So we did do a lot of Google.
He did a lot of Google.
Yeah, and I made some appointments per se, or interviews, kind of, right, because everybody's so used to doing Teams or whatever, what have you, or on the website and talk to some individuals. Well, she had a friend that worked at a company that she had brought up, and that actually takes care of all that. So we literally were able to do. We had an option for the photographer, DJ, and videographer all in one shot.
Yes.
And then photo booths.
Wow.
So they all, we talked to the people that ran that company, and you had your choices of DJs, you had your choices of photographers, and the engagement session.
Yes,
right?
engagement
our
photos.
and all that stuff.
Yes.
It was pretty easy to work with going through one. She did talk me into that. I was willing to try to save a little bit, but at the long run, it would have cost probably more of stress. But she was the one that talked me into, hey, why don't you just go through one company that offers it all instead of, okay, go find a DJ, I'll go find a photographer, I'll go find a videographer, I go find the photo booth and all that. So it worked out good.
Yeah, my friend does the photo booth, like on the side for extra money and weekends, and she'd always share pictures and everything. So I'm like, So I asked her questions. So that is something that I actually did. So I can admit I did that for her.
But I love the fact that you guys found sort of like a clearinghouse, a one-stop shop, where instead of having to start from scratch every time you had a new vendor you wanted to pick, they already had sort of a centralized sort of listing and people who they could recommend. And so that I have to believe that made things so much easier in the long run.
It was.
And they didn't push you, right? They it was a good company to work for. They didn't say, hey, you need to use, you're going to hire our photo booth and photographer. You have to use this, and this. You can find whatever you want. But it was just so convenient, making the payments to one place, going to one place to finalize the books and everything else. It was
and they set everything up. So we told them things. They went to the venue. They talked to the people. So it was kind of like a mini wedding planner, if you will. So it was very convenient, and I'm glad he listened to me.
Oh yeah, that's a great. I love that. Now, if you feel comfortable sharing, what's the name of in case we've got some couples out there going, well, who are these people? Where do I find them? Like, do you mind saying who it was? Like, what the name of them was?
Of course.
Yeah, it's called Elite. They're out of Warren, like 13 Mile and Van Dyke area, or between Sheener and Van Dyke or something like that. But yeah, easy to find online. They have videos of everything they offer. They offer, I mean, not that we're giving a shout out, but we'll give a shout out. They have
Yeah.
the smoke, wanted smoke for the entry. They have smoke machines. They have spark machines that fly sparks, at which our venue wouldn't approve because we wanted that too. But yeah, they're a very easy company to work with, and they definitely will help you alleviate a little bit of stress, especially when you're trying to contact the venues and the venue itself. And hey, is this allowed? This is allowed. What time is this? You do fill out a heck of a pamphlet. Don't get me wrong. We did do a lot of legwork with them, but
right.
In the beginning,
but through mid and end, they had meetings probably every couple months, and then within 30 days before the wedding, we knew everything was completely nailed down. Like boom,
Yep.
They were going to be there on site, ready, waiting for us.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's a stress reducer, boy. So all right. Speaking of stressors, when you think about your budget for your wedding, and no like specific numbers or anything, but like when you were trying to figure out, okay, we've got this, what we're at least envisioning is this X amount of money. How did you decide where you were going to splurge, where you needed to pull back? Did you stay true to that original vision, or did all of a sudden you end up spending like way over the budget and you were okay with that because it created the day that you'll always remember? So how did you deal with your budgeting?
Well, we didn't have a budget in mind. We just said we both want a dream wedding we've never had. So we just ran with it. That's pretty much, and the most important to me was the venue and the food. So that was the most important.
Yeah. I guess I could tell anybody that's going to listen to this, you may have a budget in mind, but I will tell everybody now that when you start doing per person, you're always going to forget 5 to 10, maybe 15 other people. So make sure put a little cushion in that budget, because not only that, you want to make sure that even the people that are working your wedding, our minister, his wife, the photographer, all them, they're all included. They have to be included too to the dinner and drinks and stuff like that. Yes. So it was just I didn't say, oh my goodness, we're spending so much money on this wedding. We kept thinking like, oh my gosh, yes, it's expensive, but this is hopefully our one, and it will be, my opinion, our one and only special wedding. And
that's awesome. I love that. Now, was there anything that as you were planning for the wedding that you were worried about a lot before the wedding day? That after the wedding, you looked back on and you were like, you know what? That probably wasn't really worth all the angst we put in. You know what I'm saying? Was there something that just weighed on your mind that on the back end you're like, well, dang it, that wasn't worth all that tension and high blood pressure and whatever?
Well, nothing that was super stressful. The only thing I got stressed about was the weather. Hearing it was going to be really hot.
Oh, you thought it rained in the beginning, right?
Yeah, maybe rain, but that's weather. And then hot. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't do well in humidity. I'm going to have to stand out there. And looking back, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't too hot. I don't know what came over me that day, but everything went perfect. And looking back now, it was nothing.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that's
same scenario.
That's well said.
We were definitely hoping it was going to be a beautiful fall, cool day out
in October.
October, obviously, October was planned on our first date as well, and we were thinking, now Mike, we have to deal with a little bit of rain. That would stink, but we're out because we're outdoors. But we'll deal with it. And then they had a place where we could get married inside if we had to, but not to think that it was going to be a scorching 90 degrees or 89 degrees or whatever it was that day.
Yeah, not football weather for sure.
No.
But thinking about it, we just survived.
Yep.
We made it. And it's something that everybody talks about. Great.
Yes.
And thanks to you too for your suggestions. Because,
I appreciate it.
We had some pressure. About not having the whole thing go on and that stuff. And I'm glad you reached out to us that night. kind of walk us through that. Like, hey, this is your day,
Right.
you know.
I'll do what you want to do, but yes.
Right. I appreciate that. And it's, I think in the long run, so many of those kinds of things end up just becoming a part of the tapestry of the day, right? Where, if something crazy happens or the weather gets weird or somebody trips or candelabra blows over or whatever, you roll with it. It just becomes a part of the fabric of the experience that you can either laugh about later or roll your eyes or whatever. But really the core part of it is the two of you committing to each other. And there wasn't anything that could have happened that day, weather or otherwise, that was going to stop that from happening. So,
right. And nobody to this day, I know it hasn't been that long, but nobody has said, oh my God, that weather. Everybody has said your vows. It was a beautiful venue. The food was excellent. So that's the important part.
Yeah. Yeah. Here. Now, did you have any, and Jeremy, this might be kind of aimed a little bit more toward in your direction based on what we talked about earlier, but were there any planning tools that you guys use, whether it was spreadsheets or apps or checklists or, anything that kind of helped you to stay organized as you were prepping for this?
So, I mean, I love running Excel sheets, and I had everything on my own Excel, whether it was the entire invite list, which helps me with quantities, of course. Putting the formulas in when we did the food tasting and what we were going to decide and pick. So, I did my own thing, right? But I did mimic some things that you can find online too. There's actually some tools out there that you can utilize for free if you want. You can actually do layout of your venue, but which my family did help with that. They had able to have a software that just did layout of tables, how many people were going to be at the table, stuff like that. But yeah, we pretty much my own tools. But if you don't have Excel or familiarization with stuff like that or finance, then there's tools out there. Yeah.
Sure. Oh man, you're speaking my language, Jeremy. We have kindred spirits in that regard. I'm like the Excel king, Oh, that's too funny. So all right. So I'm trying to think. Oh, so do you have when you think back? I mean, obviously it was an incredible day. It went beautifully. Is there anything from that day that you remember as being kind of quirky, funny, unexpected, that not in a negative way, but just something that you kind of look back at and you kind of crack up, or you're like, oh, that was kind of weird, but anything that comes to mind?
Nothing weird, but I do laugh at all the speeches from our friends and how they like to say what they needed to say. Everybody had their own unique way, what they wanted to say. So we really enjoyed that. I wouldn't say it was weird, but it was funny. It was funny,
Yeah. And you're right. Each one of them had a different kind of take, a different tone.
Yes.
And their own personality and values kind of shone through in the way. Yeah. So I totally. Those were very, very entertaining, and thought provoking too. Like very sweet.
Oh yes.
So all right, before we get into the ceremony itself, is there anything related to the big picture planning of your wedding that we haven't talked about that you think we should have?
Well, there is one thing I have to say I regret not doing to save money, and I would highly encourage people to do it, is to get a videographer. Like, we cut that out of there, and I'm so upset because all we heard from people, those vows, oh my God, I was crying, I'm not a crier, and it touched me, and I'm like, man, I don't have that. So I definitely regret not doing that. So.
Yeah, got it. That makes sense. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the ceremony specifically. Were there any, obviously, when I send out my questionnaires to my couples, it's like this 15-page thing of, oh my God, this is everything we have to think about that goes into a wedding. How did you kind of determine what your non-negotiables were, the things that you absolutely had to have in the ceremony versus, you don't have to talk about the stuff that you clipped out or didn't care about as much, but were there certain things that were just, these have to happen for us to feel good about what our ceremony is going to sound like?
Definitely the love story.
Yes.
that that you created for us. That was
Yes.
we were waiting and wait since because you do put time and effort into it, right? And
Oh yeah.
I know there's you and then yourself. You know, when people do utilize you and your skills, is you're filling this thing out, you turn it in, then you're asking questions and you're sending questions back, and then you're doing all this stuff. And you're like, man, what is this story?
Yeah.
What is he doing? What is the method behind his madness?
Yeah.
So we knew for sure that that was going to happen, even though we had to do it inside because it was a longer part of the ceremony because it was so hot out. But you did it inside and knocked it out of the park. Obviously, we
Yes.
both loved it.
Loved it.
Thank you.
And
Thank
everyone
you.
loved it. We had people coming up to us say, "Oh my God, it was funny, it was touching, it was witty, it was." Everybody loved it, and we especially loved it.
Yeah, I don't
So-
think I don't
thank
honestly.
you.
I think we didn't cut. I don't know if we cut anything out.
No, but the things that were important, writing our own vows,
Yeah.
your love story, and I would say the poem you asked us to pick.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah.
We said we wanted that, and those were definite.
Yeah, and the part about the poem thing is you gave us. I think there was 4 options. I think it was,
Mhm.
and we said, okay, let's pick. And we both picked 2,
Mm-hmm.
and we both picked the same identical ones, and we didn't even know which ones we picked. So I didn't tell her what I was picking, and she didn't tell me hers, and we were like, okay, now we got to narrow it down to one, and that's the one that we picked. But it was awesome. Yep, all those were
and it-
muffs for everyone.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, your vows were stunning. They were beautiful. And since we're talking about your vows, I'd say more often than not, I have couples who choose to write personal vows to each other and share them during the ceremony. What advice would you give to couples about A, whether they should, B, how they should go about creating them, and C, if they're nervous about public speaking, how do you like get past that?
Well, the first question, it should be up to you. Like if you, I loved writing my own, that was important to both of us. But if you feel more comfortable reading something, do what makes you more comfortable. So, and for me, it wasn't difficult. I sat down in a quiet room when he was at work each day, and I just wrote down whatever was on my heart. And I didn't think about who's going to love this. Am I going to make a mistake? I just let out what was in my heart, and that was basically it. And you want to talk about nervous? I am a person who will walk in a room and make you laugh, but you put me on center stage, you put a microphone in my hand or anything, I freeze. So I have no idea what happened that day. I don't know if my dad was with me. I don't know what, but I was not nervous one bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I was not nervous. So I don't know what kind of advice to give because usually I would be nervous, but I don't know.
Well, you let love lead the way, right? And so it wasn't performative anymore. It was truly
Correct.
how you felt about the love you have for Jeremy and this beautiful commitment you were making. And so, when you kind of get out of your own head, and I don't mean you personally, but I mean just people in general, get out of your own head, remember why you're doing it, let the spirit of the moment be what leads you instead of it becoming a performance.
Yes.
It usually ends up going really, really well. So.
And it did.
Yeah. Oh, you guys both knocked it out of the park. It was incredible. I could see people dabbing their eyes, and I was trying to keep it together because it was just beautiful.
Thank you.
So, all right. So, was there a part of the ceremony that was hard to plan, that was particularly challenging to plan, or did it all sort of flow seamlessly?
I thought it was perfect. So nothing was difficult for me.
No, I think there was some things that I would think like, oh my goodness, is these people are the guests gonna like this? Sometimes, but then I would turn it, be like, hey, this is about us, not about everybody else, what they're gonna think, right? But no, I guess some of the food, right? That's always tough. as long as it tastes good. That's that's what people talk about at weddings a lot is the
Food.
venue and food. Was it a nice place and was the food good? I mean, I was one of those going to weddings, right? Like, oh my gosh, the venue was beautiful, but the food wasn't that great. You got a piece of lettuce for your salad and blah blah blah. And we wanted it different. That's why we did it the way we did with the buffet style, the barbecue style, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I think we nailed everything that would appease to not only us but everybody that attended. So yeah, like the food tasting went well, the cake tasting went well. The cake tasting was tough because there were so many different varieties of.
I just had fun eating it. I'm not going to lie to you. I just had a blast eating the different cake.
I think our wedding cake had 6 different flavors in it. And that's something that they said was unheard of, but they loved doing it, and everybody loved the cake, right? I mean, that was an amazing place too that we dealt with, which is another shout out. It was a Christina's Cake.
Yes.
Out in Macomb or that area, they do an awesome job, and no, but other than that, I mean, things were pretty smooth. It was
awesome.
Getting dates. Okay, the engagement sessions. Getting dates and times and stuff squared away can be a little hindering because I was working and stuff like that. But we made it. We made it happen pretty easily. Yeah.
That's awesome. So we made some adjustments on the fly, right, because of the heat. Where I read the love story, which was pretty elaborate, right, at a time when they'd be in the reception and they'd be cool and be able to enjoy it and whatever. So if we had done it, back to back to back, like if we had done it all as a part of the actual ceremony, it probably would have ended up being close to a half hour or so. And, I think there's a perception with a lot of couples where they're like, oh God, we should stick to 10 minutes. People are going to get bored. Like what would you tell them about the things you included and how long you knew it might take? And you know what I'm saying? Like, what advice would you give to somebody who's like, oh God, if people are going to get bored, we should keep it short. Like, what would you tell them about sort of including what it is that you want to have in it regardless?
So we both thought, and honestly, our the people that stood up in our wedding, they kind of backed us too. Like it was our day. This is the one and only, right? Don't worry about what people think. Oh my God, I can't believe this took a half hour. Because to me, I went to traditional weddings that took an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half inside of a church or whatever. But a half hour to me is that if people cannot give a half hour to us, then it shouldn't be there. But don't cut any, in my opinion, don't cut anything short because it's very, very special. It's part of the memories. It's just something. Yeah, don't cut it. I know we didn't cut. We just decided to make some changes on doing things inside versus outside.
Yes, but we kept them.
We kept them. There was a time that we both said, you know what? We know it's going to be warm. People are going to be a little hot out in the sun, but they're going to have to deal with it. But we did make the changes to make it a little more comfortable.
Compromise.
We need to compromise. But don't cut anything short, is my opinion, because
it's your day.
It's your day, and you'll probably never get that kind of day ever again.
Do what you want, not what others want, unfortunately. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yep. Well, right. And if you plan it right, if you do it where it's organic and meaningful and you've got, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be moving. It's going to be fun, so
you have the right person orchestrating it. When you yourself, honestly, and I'm not saying things just to say it, but there wasn't a single minute that you did for us that was boring or anybody said, oh, I can't. I mean, I sat through that. That was rough. You made it fun. You made it wholesome, witty.
Yes.
You made everything awesome. So a half hour doesn't feel like a half hour. I'll tell you, the longest time that you're going to have to, in my opinion, that took the longest was waiting for her to come out and waiting for the time that I was able to turn around and see her. Other than that, everything's flew by.
Oh, I hear that. Yeah, I remember standing there with you going, okay, you can turn around. You know, like I had to like cue you when it was safe. Yeah, that we got it. I had so much fun prepping that for you. And so that was just, it was a joyous day from minute one. Well, the whole process was joyous. I mean, just working with you guys, trying to figure out what you wanted, getting your feedback, sharing ideas. All right. So I'm trying to remember what did you end up deciding about cell phone usage, and in the end, were you glad that you made the choice you did?
Yeah, the choice or the decision was they can have their cell phones, but please put them on mute or vibrate.
Yeah.
And they were allowed to obviously take pictures and record, because actually one of her friends got my vows, but
Not mine. She didn't get mine. She goes, "Oh my God, I thought I pressed record." But she got his, and that's what matters. At least we got one of ours.
Yeah, I see.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a good decision because people
could record it. Yes.
Too.
Yes.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. So, all right, if you don't mind, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and we've started kind of, moving in this direction anyway. But when you think specifically about my role as your officiant, when we first met, that first Zoom session where we, you kind of like, tried me, auditioned me. Were there certain qualities that you were looking for, or certain questions that you felt you needed to ask, or if there weren't, if it was just more of a free-flowing thing, was there something that came out of that conversation, either at that time or when you had time to think about it and then get back to me, where you were like, you know what, I think he might be the right fit?
Well, I'm going to just be honest with you. Just like we knew each other was the one, we knew you were the one for us as well the minute we started talking to you. You just had this aura about you. You were friendly and loving and easy to talk to. And we both got off that call with you and we're like, he's the one. We don't even, because we had someone else too we were going to interview. We're like, no, he's the guy.
We looked up. That was another thing. Part of the planning, right, is, we need to find somebody to marry us too. Just Google search, honestly, and yours came up and a couple of others, and I was just reading the bios and stuff, and I'm like, wow, let's just send this Mark email and see what it's about. And instantly after our conversation with you, we looked at each other. We're like, he's the one. We're picking him. We're not interviewing the other folks. There's a couple that were on the docket and they didn't make it. So they got voted off the island quickly.
Oh, well, I'm so grateful that I got to stay on the island.
Yes, us too.
And
us too.
I honestly felt the same way with the two of you. It just felt like it was just such a natural, free-flowing conversation. I felt safe with you. I felt excited to get working on your behalf. It was like, getting in touch with old friends you hadn't talked to in a while, you know. So it just felt like the right fit. And to me, that's the beauty of it is I've never viewed, and I never will view my wedding officiating as like a commodity. Like I don't do it because I have to. I do it because I love to do it. I don't do a gazillion weddings a year. I'm not looking to scale up. Because I want to give absolutely the best of myself to every single couple I work with. And I felt the same way when I was a teacher, where everything was about the relationship, and then whatever emanated off of that was going to happen the way I wanted it to, because there was already that deep human personal connection. And so I'm so glad that came through, and that the two of you felt that way, and I sure did too. And it was such a blast working with the two of you, and just trying to get a sense of who you were and what would be the best ways of expressing that through your ceremony. So, all right. So if you, like, I think a lot of couples just view an officiant as just sort of a tag on, he's just going to get up there and read this boring script, like, what would you say to couples who are thinking that an officiant is just sort of a last second, he's just going to get up there, say a couple things and be done with it? Like, how would you advise them about the importance of finding the right fit as your officiant?
Right. So I was probably one of those people, thinking like, we're just going to officiate,
Me too.
same story, same, as long as they sign off on the paperwork, we're going to be good to go. That's the type of thing. And we're just another number. And then after talking to you and working with you and the options that you were telling us that you were going to do with the love story and the poems and all that other stuff, totally changed my mind. And
it was very important.
yes,
Like
yes,
thinking about that, it's like a bond, right?
Yeah.
You want someone telling your story that has meaning behind it,
Yeah.
not someone who's just going to do it, get paid, and go.
right.
You're stuck with us now. I hate to tell you.
Well, and it was right. We said that we felt, and I know she doesn't really know that. But there was a night that she went to hang out with her friends, and had a couple beers, and I was texting him like, "Hey, okay, so you want to know some of this story that I haven't said yet because I was too nervous." And we were texting back and forth, and it was like, "Hey, I feel like you're like part of our family," and we
No judgments,
yeah. And that's why we said another. We wanted you to stay throughout the whole thing. You wanted your wife to be there and meet her,
Which she's awesome as well,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, it was
Thank you.
Never
I kind of
felt-
think so too.
never felt that way about any stranger that we would meet off of Google.
Right.
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 Then it felt like you became part of our family instantly, and the connection with you and your wife and everything. It was awesome. So very important.
No, it makes your day come alive.
Yeah.
Honestly, really, you made our day come
Yes,
alive.
you did. You did.
I appreciate that so much, and I was so moved when the two of you invited not only me but also Mary, and really most of the time couples don't invite me to stay for the reception, which is totally, I get it. I don't consider that like a given that's going to be an invitation that gets passed along, but when it does get passed along, it is profoundly meaningful. And so and as close as I felt to the two of you, I was just so grateful to be able to share more of that day with you and to bring Mary in and have you meet her. And she's an incredible human and she adores the two of you and had such a great time at the ceremony and the reception. So I'm really grateful that you allowed me to kind of immerse myself into the whole day. Because for me, when you said that you were wondering if your officiant would look at you as just a number, I actually got choked up as you said that, because my God, that is the antithesis of how I felt about the two of you. Every text you sent me, every message you sent, every email, all the questionnaires you filled out I have them all saved. They're a part of my sort of wedding. I don't even know how to say it, but like you are deeply embedded in my heart, and every part of what it took to bring your ceremony to life is going to remain with me for the rest of my life, including the joy of living the experience on the actual day. So I'm so grateful you entrusted your ceremony to my care.
Well, it wasn't a question that we were going to have you for dinner. So it wasn't even a question. We both agreed.
I appreciate that so much. Was there, as you know, I know that for me as a teacher, I always wanted my kids to feel safe and peaceful, and to me that's when the best learning could take place. That was the best way of fostering a good, healthy relationship. So were there ways as we were making our way toward the ceremony that I was able to help the two of you feel like, okay, we can breathe again, things are going to be okay, like were there ways that I was able to help you feel more confident or peaceful during either the planning of or on the day of your wedding?
I think what helped me a lot is when we did the rehearsal. I felt, well, besides the hurdle of when you asked if I had the license, and I didn't even know I needed a license for some reason. I don't know how I forgot that. But and instant hail
Yeah, I panicked too.
sick feeling came
Yes.
across my stomach, and you said, "Don't worry, call them. See if they can expedite it. They should be able to expedite it.
Yes.
We're getting married that week." And I did. You helped us handle that, but yeah, and got through it. Got it the next day, but yeah, after the rehearsal, I felt a whole lot relieved that everything was going to work the way it was supposed to work. People were going to walk down when they were supposed to. It was going to
Yes.
everything was going to work out great.
Yeah, you kept it calm throughout,
Awesome.
I would say. From when we first met you to
Awesome.
planning it, to rehearsal, to wedding day, and to even now. So, yes.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I'm
note to
so
self.
glad because
Note to self and everyone else out there. I might be the only foolish person out there, but you need a license to get married in the state of Michigan.
I wasn't going to bring that up. So, but
Hey, it is what it is.
It was in the ceremony questionnaire, but I mean, that was like months and months and months before the actual ceremony. And so, when 1,000 other things come in and crowd that out, and plus you were dealing with all the house stuff where you're making renovations.
Yes.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
so I'm so glad it worked out. And, we were, whatever had to happen, we were going to make it. Oh, it was going to be okay. And I was going to help get you through it and make it right. So, all right. So let me see if there's any other questions I had for you guys. All right. So was there anything that you heard from family and friends after the ceremony, like specific comments about things that they really liked the way it was either structured or the way something was said or done? What kind of feedback did you get from the people who came?
Well, I guess what I heard was from the people who stayed on my brother and such that got to meet you, and he's kind of a goofy goofball, but say, "Oh my God, I love this guy," and it's so easy to talk to, and the photographer and all that stuff. But as far as we actually were, the table you sat at was with our old neighbor, and I seen him probably a month after, and he's like, "Yeah, we were sitting there, and the minister was there, and we had such a great conversation. What a great guy." And this is coming from a guy that judges kind of everybody. I was a little nervous at first, but he's like, "No, we had an awesome conversation." I'm like, "Oh, awesome. That was the minister." No, it was great. We carried on. We had food, dinner and whatever. I'm like, "Oh, that's good to know." But family, everybody seemed to say that they thought everything went perfect.
Yeah, that you did a great job, but they loved the love story.
Yeah.
That was like the biggest hit. They loved how you put that together. There was something unique that they've never seen or heard before. And then they asked how the process was and all that. So, yes, they loved that the most.
And I honestly think people wish they can get. I think some of our people that were at the wedding wish they can get remarried now, because then they can probably.
Yeah, really.
Hey, I do vow renewals if anybody out there.
Oh, there you go.
So,
There you go.
That's something to keep in mind.
but honestly, that friend it was a friend or a neighbor who was
An old neighbor.
Friend. Yeah.
Mary and I talked to him like for an hour straight. We had the most incredible conversation, and so I'm delighted to hear that he felt good about it. We were very impressed with him, and it was just this really deep, meaningful, no BS, no how's the weather, how about them Red Wings, it was a really meaningful exchange. So I'm so glad that he felt the same way. All right, is there anything about any aspect of your wedding, anything that I haven't asked you about that you think either an engaged couple might be interested in or benefit from hearing, or just anything that we haven't put on the table that you wish we had?
There was, there's something we didn't mention that we thought worked out well for us, and I hope others don't think that they have to do the so-called par for course thing. Is we actually did a joint bachelorette party. We rented out a suite at the Tigers game and had our groomsmen and bridesmaids and stuff all come with us and family, and rented a suite at the Tigers game, watched the Tigers game, rented a limo afterwards, and went some
bar hopping
and watched some bands and stuff like that. And we actually it wasn't where we felt like she wanted her own, and I wanted my own type of thing. And being together, I think a lot of people thought there was a lot of respect out of that kind of stuff, doing things
Yeah.
together versus doing them. You know, you watch those movies, The Hangover and stuff, and they're crazy Vegas nights, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that. Doing joint things actually was really awesome. We didn't really talk about the bride's or our bachelorette party, but that was cool as heck. Uh,
I love
yeah,
that idea. I think that's brilliant. You know,
yeah,
talk
it was
about
a
a
great
symbol of
time.
respect for each other, you know, where
Yeah,
so often you have that
Yeah.
vision of, oh, okay, the guys are going to have their strippers or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it's like, what the heck? Aren't you committing to each
right.
other? Like, why are, you know,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
it
and
always strikes me as weird that you feel like you have to like sow some wild oat just before you're about to commit yourself to the person you love more than anybody in the world.
But you're already
Like, what's-
committed. You're already
Right.
committed already. You're just not married.
Exactly.
I never understood that. You're not single,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
it was
exactly.
an awesome thing.
yeah, we did it differently. We did a respectful together. We wanted to spend that night
Yeah.
together. So
Yeah. Respectful is the exact word that I was thinking. You know, talk about saying, you know what, you're who you are and what you bring to the table is something that I am so fully invested in that I can't imagine doing this without you. You know,
Right.
I think that's beautiful. So, well, I tell you what, to me, that's like a perfect ending spot for the interview. I'm so incredibly grateful for the time that you took. I wish we had more time, but you know, the time.
Can I say one more thing, Mark?
Oh, yeah,
Just
absolutely.
quickly, I'll make it quick. I'm sorry. I just want anybody out there to know that
don't rush.
if there's any considerations of using Mark in your wedding, you really need to consider it. You will gain a friend, a family member that you knew or you would never think that you had. You will have an amazing wedding, an amazing everything. He will help you through everything, and honestly, like there's no other out there that can be compared to Mark. So please,
Wow.
if you have any thoughts of hiring him, make sure he's part of your wedding.
agreed.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'm going to be like heading toward the Kleenex box as soon as we're done. Holy cow. Thank you. That's extraordinary. I'm so grateful for those sentiments. And I mean, you guys know that you have a lifelong friend, a lifelong ally, an extended family member in me. And I'm utterly
Someone to
devoted
renew
each
our
one of you.
vows.
Yeah.
Yes, seriously. I'll be ready whenever you are. So
Same
you just hunt
thing,
me
too.
down. Yeah,
Keep your cowboy hat.
Yeah, keep your cowboy stuff.
First time in my life I have worn a cowboy hat in public, other than for like maybe a Halloween party or something. But I had such a good time with that. I loved looking for the outfit and sending you guys pictures to see if it was matching kind of the vision of what you had, and so I loved like just sort of fully investing in the spirit of what you were trying to express there, and so. But to me, that was just in keeping with every other part of the process that I shared with the two of you. So I'm so deeply grateful that our lives intersected, and I know for a fact that we're still going to be a part of each other's lives decades from now.
Absolutely.
And so I'll start writing that vow renewal right now so that I can be ready. And you won't have to hunt me up on Google this time. So that's a good thing. But anyway, thank you for joining me. This means the world to me. All right, I have a few thank yous to close out with, and then we'll be galloping into the sunset. No cowboy theme, pun intended. So I want to thank any of the engaged couples out there who've joined us today and who recently experienced a proposal of your own. I hope the episode gave you a lot of ideas about what you might want to do for your own wedding, and maybe even who you might want to have officiated. Keep in mind, we're the ones who sign the license and make everything legal. Without us, you're still dating. just in nicer outfits or cowboy outfits, as the case may be. But way more importantly than that, we're the ones who try to create a ceremony where on the back end of it, you can say, that was so us. If you enjoyed the episode, please click the subscribe button, follow me on social media at Mark the Moment Weddings. I'm Mark Honeyman, and by the power vested in me, I bid you farewell. Until the next time, I have a proposal.